I'm currently standing on a house in the middle of the ocean.
And I'm going to survive in it for the next 24 hours.
Oh my God.
No land, no help, and no food unless I catch it myself.
Out here, one storm can wipe everything out. Oh my God.
If I run out of water, my life is at risk. And if something goes wrong, there's no one around for miles. Welcome to the most isolated house on Earth.
Let's see if I can survive. See you guys later, bye. All right, I'm officially alone, so I guess let's do a house tour. Welcome to the humble abode. All of this is the stuff I'll be using to survive, and we'll get to that, but first I wanna show you like what this place is all about. First up, we got a nice comfy bed, and I could say the comfy part confidently. Over here, we've got the bathroom. Oh, hi, this is me. We've got a little shower, a super little toilet. It looks like this is how you flush the thing. Whoa. And I know what you're thinking, Nick, what happens if you walk out this door? And it's just ocean. Is that a shipwreck? Oh, 2 shipwrecks after zooming in? And then when you go in here, originally I thought these were bed frames, but after further analysis, it turns out that this is a hammock. We'll probably set that up a little bit later. This entire house is made of like a hay-like kind of thing. I'm gonna have to make a fire, and this looks all super flammable. I just don't want this whole place to go burning down and me with it, you know?
Now that we've seen the house, it's time to go over the gear we'll be using in this video.
All right, so probably the biggest change from the last survival challenge is that you guys took away my freaking weapon. The weapon of choice this time is going to be a bow and arrow. Got the machete, got a little dive light. This is for when I go night diving later. Probably the most important thing, it's a walkie-talkie, and my safety team has the other one, so you just turn it on and... That thing is so cool. I brought my inhaler because I'm a severe asthmatic. I have custom fins. They say Nick Kratka on them. This is a chum block. So I'm gonna put chum in here later, and we're gonna throw it off the side, and hopefully it doesn't bring in a shark for my night dive. I brought an anchor. Oh, this thing is heavy. Oh, and I just dented the floor. I've got some wood that's gonna help me start a fire. This is my bedtime storybook. Comment your favorite bedtime story. This is my dive flag. It's illegal to go diving here without a dive flag. It's also just dangerous because boats can hit you. Torch, a long lighter fluid. This is more wood in here. Yeah, see? And then in here, this is a fun one. A couple of lanterns. And then the last thing I haven't showed you guys is this cooler right over here. In here, we have chum and like bait and stuff for me to fish with later. There are 3 main objectives for this challenge. The first one is securing food. Obviously, I don't have anything to eat out here, and the only thing that I'm allowed to eat is something that I catch. The second objective is gonna be to secure drinking water. Now, the only problem is that I'm currently in the middle of the ocean. To be honest, I haven't figured out the whole water situation yet. We're still working on it. The last objective is gonna be to survive the weather. I know it looks nice right now, but I'm in an area that has extreme weather changes on the drop of a dime. One more cool thing, I've got my chum cage right here. Oh, that smells atrocious. Open the cage just like this. What even is chum, bro? So we're just gonna put this whole thing in the chum cage. Because the water here where I am is so warm, it should just kind of slowly melt away. Don't worry, it's not bad for the environment. We're just gonna tire right over here. The chum will be actively bringing in cool sea creatures for us to spear and eat, hopefully. What I'm thinking about most in this challenge is that for every piece of food that I wind up scavenging or somehow hunting, it's gonna wind up costing me calories, right? I need to catch and eat it. There will be a deficit by the end of it. If I catch 1 fish, but I spend 1,000 calories catching it, I'm down a lot of calories.
And speaking of calories, it's time to hunt my first meal.
Guys, a little treat just showed up. A shrimp accidentally jumped into my boat. That's calories, baby. Might not be a lot, but it's the first ones of the challenge. Damn, super sweet. Those are good. I hope more jump into my boat. All right, now we just gotta get in the water. Ow, ow, I just banged my shin. Fuck. I've never really been on a kayak like this. Safety team, I'm on the move. In the water.
Safety team, loud and clear.
At the end of the day, I'm looking for a little flat. Something that wouldn't be too hard to spear my breakfast. I'm starving, and every paddle is kind of taking up a little bit more calories for me. Safety team, do we see anywhere that I could go get some food over?
400 yards to the southwest, we do see a sunken item. I believe you can acquire some food here.
All right, here we go.
Safety team to Nick, you're gonna want to do a 180-degree turn going in the opposite direction.
Oh my gosh, and it's starting to freaking rain. Are you kidding me? What are the odds of this? No. Safety team, are these walkie-talkies able to get wet over?
These walkie-talkies should be weather resistant. Again, resistant, not proof. Over.
Oh my God. Sometimes, you know, you just gotta tough it out. This is scary, guys. The wind is picking up a lot. Safety team, permission to engage into the water, over. Safety team, are you there? Over. Oh my God, guys, this isn't working anymore. Safety team. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god.
I know this seems scary, but it's important to remember, no matter how hard things get, you never give up.
I lost my goggles. This is how people die. Not good. The good news is that I'm collecting fresh water. Oh my god!
I was able to pull it together and locate all of my dropped items, but now it's time to get in the water and see what I can catch. I began my search for food, and the hardest part about swimming in this area is that it was only about 3 or 4 feet deep, so I really had to make myself thin in the water column. The first thing I found was a collector urchin, and while these guys don't have a whole lot of calories in them, their meat is very, very sweet. I went towards the only piece of structure I could find sticking out of the water, and under it was a nice mangrove snapper. Usually you're gonna find fish on any structure because they're gonna think that they're well hidden. This fish has probably never seen a diver before, and I say that because he was very curious coming up to me. Usually if a fish has been hunted before, they will run away, but this guy had no idea.
Oh man, so we actually did pretty good. Back to home, baby. Home, sweet home.
Guys, I'm dead. I'm also successful. The prize of the show, what's gonna get me the most calories, is this beautiful mangrove snapper. This guy was munching on lobster. That tells me that this guy is gonna taste extra sweet. I also got a hermit crab. I don't know how I'm gonna get this guy out.
I'm actually realizing that I didn't bring my dive flag on that entire excursion, which is really bad.
But now that I've caught some food, I need to successfully cook this fish before I can eat it.
My plan right now is to have the fire on the kayak so that if the fire gets out of control, my entire house doesn't burn down. Now, my thought process is I want to make this wood really tall because I don't want to burn a hole in the kayak. I can't see this going right, to be honest, but I don't know how else I'm supposed to start a fire. Oh, okay, wait, this is going great. Ow! I think that's it. I think that's how I'm going to cook my fish. Oh, that almost blew up in my hand. Oh my god, the kayak's on fire. Bro, code red. I don't think my drinking water is safe anymore. I feel like there's a lot of lighter fluid in it. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna soak the wood like you've never seen before in lighter fluid. And then we're just gonna kiss it. Oh my god, no, the GoPro. This could not be going worse. All right, firewood on the kayak is not working at all. So we're just gonna eat it raw. I wonder if I could crack this hermit crab out of its shell with this. I'm literally just hungry and nothing is working. This sucks. I can't eat the food that I just spent thousands of calories trying to freaking catch in the middle of the freaking rainstorm. I'm just gonna scale this fish and eat it like our ancestors would have. Dip it in the salt water. Tastes a little bit like gasoline. It's definitely raw. You ever have moments in your life where you're just thinking to yourself, am I on the right path? At first I was a little timid biting into the side of this fish, but you just gotta go for it, honestly. Ow! I got stabbed. I kind of feel bad for this hermit crab. I feel like I'm not gonna be able to get him and he's not gonna be worth the calories and he deserves to live. This is the completed product. All right, I definitely want to relax in bed, but I need to shower. You guys have been saying you want me to recreate Naked and Afraid. I'm definitely afraid. Oh, nice. Get a nice ocean view while I shower. A little bit of body wash. Shower is complete. Oh, damn, this bed is comfy. This house that I'm on is constantly shifting since it's floating through the ocean. Every time I come out here, it's a different view. Right now, we're facing the land, but earlier, I think we were facing like that way, just into the open ocean, so it's constantly moving. This house has a motor. It's anchored up right over there, right? So every time that the tide shifts, it'll take me that way, a bunch of different directions. Now, what's caught my eye is far out there. You guys see that? That is a shipwreck, and you can tell because it has a bunch of little birds on it. I'm gonna go find some food on that. Going for a swim seems so cool and refreshing. On the other end of it, it also sounds pretty dehydrating. We're gonna pick up this jug. Damn, I wish I would have left this out earlier. That would have been genius. We're gonna be able to capture water if it rains again, which honestly, I know it looks sunny, but I don't doubt that it will eventually start raining again. Dude, I can't believe this chum block isn't bringing anything in. Time to suit up, mate. Also, side note, my wetsuits are custom. I think it's pretty cool. All right, we all know how that kayak fiasco went last time. I'm not looking to get into another one of those, that's for sure. Got my trusty dusty bow and arrow. All right, wish me luck.
The first thing I saw when I got in the water was a pretty large barracuda, and it was just kind of chilling under the house, so I started to lock in on it. Now, the only problem with hunting this barracuda is that it's so large that if I were to put an arrow into it, it would more than likely swim away with my arrow, and since that's my only weapon, I definitely don't want to waste it and be left without anything to catch food. The next thing I found was a massive queen conch, and these are beyond delicious. I love to eat these guys. The only problem is that here in Florida, it's illegal to keep eat them, so all I can do is admire. I want you to take note how shallow of an area I'm diving in is. The entire water column between the bottom and top is only about 3 to 5 feet depending on the area. This is pretty scary because if there's ever a shark in the water with me, it's gonna be the same level as me, and there's no really avoiding them looking at me, you know, so I'd have to be extra aware. Eventually, I find my way to the shipwreck, and I start to see all kinds of life, which is a really good sign. A mangrove snapper approaches me, and you could see he's a little bit of a curious fish. The only thing is that I'm not entirely sure that this guy is the legal size, and I want to try to get the biggest one under this boat so that it actually feeds me well. I'm also noticing that there are a bunch of barracudas swimming around as well, but I had no idea what the legal size for them were, and I really didn't want to break the law, so I made sure to lock in on something that I knew was legal. Once this mangrove snapper was on the end of my spear tip, I put something into his brain to make sure that he could never swim away from me again. I put him in my pocket because I didn't have anywhere else to store him, but that is very dangerous because if a shark is in the area and it smells the fish in your pocket, it'll more than likely come to bite you. I swam past the shipwreck into deeper waters, and if you notice all of these particles like flying by my face, that's because the current is just absolutely ripping right here. With that being said, I was seeing a lot more fish. This is a large snook right in front of me, which is a delicious fish, but legally you're not allowed to spear them, so I wasn't able to take that shot. You'll notice that I'm lining up on a bunch of different fish, but because I'm in deeper water and it's not really the best visibility, like I could only see 5 to 10 feet in front of my face really well, I don't want to shoot my arrow and risk losing it because then I will be left without a weapon to finish this challenge. I hung out in the deeper water for quite a bit of time, but came to the conclusion that it really wasn't my safest bet, and I was just burning so many calories being in here, so I decided to head towards another shipwreck. I'm glad I did too, because this one was teeming with life. Anytime that you see minnows, that means it's going to be bringing in fish that eat the minnows and then bigger fish that eat those, so at this point, it was really just a matter of finding my own food. After searching around the ship for a while, I found a really good sized mangrove snapper, lined up on it, and hit it, but it got off the end of my spear tip. I didn't wind up pulling my arrow back enough, and because of that, it didn't have enough forward pressure to fully penetrate the fish. I searched all over the wreck for this injured fish, but came to the conclusion that it got away, and I was back to square one with only one mangrove snapper in my pocket. Here, I ran into a large group of parrotfish, and yet again, you're not allowed to spear these in Florida, and they're delicious. I've eaten them in the Bahamas before, but in this area, it's illegal, so you just gotta let them live and be hungry. Being in the middle of the ocean could get really lonely, so I wanted to try to make some friends.
Hey, buddy. You guys know where the... Oh, okay.
Maybe they'll want to be my friends.
I come in peace. I just want to be your guys' friend. Oh, man. They're all such assholes.
Failing to make friends really motivated me to find food, and eventually I wound up running into this snail that had a very black shade on it. This snail is edible, and it lives in the conch family, so that was a good find. And right after that, I found a pretty large hermit crab, which I'm also gonna try to eat. At this point, I had been in the water for over an hour and burned a lot of calories, so it was time to get back to home base.
Oh, I went too far.
Oh, dinner. That was actually quite successful. Best way to take off your wetsuit is you put your elbow inside of it, other elbow inside. Boom. Kind of considering trying to start this fire on my kayak again because I don't want to eat another raw fish. That's a thought for after I eat this urchin though. Oh, this one has a nice amount of uni in it. This is what their eggs look like. Kind of like a boogery substance. These guys have like no calories. This snail is actually super colorful, like on every angle. I'm not fully confident that this thing won't poison me. I wonder what this feels like for the snail. Probably not good. There's some random brown stuff on it, and you don't want to be eating the brown stuff. You only want to eat the white stuff. Wow. It's just nice to bite into something that's actually like meaty. You ever have one of those Go-Gurts, like a yogurt, and you're trying to get every last drop out of it? That's the kind of vibe I'm doing with the meat in the middle. All right, that's enough of that.
At this point in the challenge, I'm feeling pretty defeated. I haven't consumed an entire meal, I've had no water, and the extreme exhaustion of survival is starting to get to me. If I can't find a way to get as many calories as possible out of this next meal, I might not make it through this challenge.
Man, I'm tired. I wish I had someone to cook this fish for me. But I think getting some calories in me is gonna help a lot, so I'm gonna get to cooking this fish. And to do that, I need to put a fire on the kayak. My safety team goes home after a certain point. I don't know if they're still here. Safety team, can you copy? Are you here? Better not have any emergencies overnight. And I feel like the key to the fire is gonna be all of this like kindling.
Kindling are small sticks that catch heat before any of the larger pieces of wood. They're essential for the beginning of any fire.
This is a terrible structure to have a fire on. We're just gonna go for it, honestly. Got my handy dandy torch. Oh my god, not again. Is this okay? This GoPro just got torched. Low key, it's working. I need to take advantage of the fire. So we're just gonna put the fish right on the fire. Wait, I need to get back on this kayak. I hope the kayak isn't burning a hole through it. It probably isn't supposed to cook like that. That smells terrible. That does not look healthy to eat. Is that because it's all burning the plastic underneath? The fish kind of just fell apart, and that means that it's pretty cooked. I see a little tiny bit of smoke and fire coming out, so I'm kind of letting that fish smoke. I think that's what's going on. My favorite part about cooking a fish on an open fire is that eventually it becomes so charred to the point where the skin detaches from the meat. It doesn't separate or mess up the meat at all. But gang, this fish is cooked. I didn't know if I'd be able to do it. It's crazy the difference from the last fish. It was so freaking raw, guys. This is like actually tasting good. I was traveling abroad full time for a while, maybe like a year or two ago. And the reason I moved back to Florida is because my grandpa got sick. Grandpa, if you're watching this, don't cry. He's a crier. Ignore this, grandpa. Maybe skip the next couple minutes. Sometimes I think about that alternate life I'd be having or could have, traveling full time, going to different countries. One thing that's a fact though is my grandparents are my best friends. I call and tell them about everything. Oh look, skin. Ugh. It's crazy. We're kind of getting through this. I think there's like, we're 2/4 of the way through this challenge. Is that just half? Oh, I just bit into this thing's gut. I think I'm done with this. This is how far I got with this fish. I ate it pretty down to the bone, I'd say. Whenever you have like the carcass of a fish or anything that you've hunted, always make sure you leave it in its natural environment. So for instance, the ocean. There are so many birds here that can eat this carcass, or a shark or a tarpon, or as long as I put it back in the ocean, it won't go to waste. So that feels good. I'm making a difference. Check it out, guys. This is my view as I eat my dinner. I'm very lucky to live the life that I do. It's time to go fishing. Into the chum bag we go. I'm just gonna get couple sardines. Dude, I'll just bring them all out. Why not? Wow, the fact that there's no hole in this kayak is wild. That's awesome. All right, here goes nothing. I definitely don't want to go too far from the house in case it gets really dark. Get one of these little fish right out here. Whenever I'm hooking a fish to a hook like this, I always want to hook it through the nose of the fish. This way. No! Dude, my line just broke. God just wants me to kayak. This is peaceful, man. I have all this bait, but I have even more bait for later, so I think I'm just gonna ditch it because I don't want my kayak to smell. Oh my God, oh my God. Ice. Guys, this is fresh water. Part of me is a little scared about what's in this ice. Cheers to the view. I'm a little scared as it gets darker. I'm not gonna be able to see, but I think I'm just gonna enjoy the drift a little bit. I only paid the safety team to be here for 8 out of the 24 hours. Thirst was the main thing on my mind. Ooh, you know what'd be nice? A nice little hammock session. My stomach is actually really hurting right now, and part of me thinks it's from eating that ice earlier. You should never just eat ice because there can always be some random contaminants in there. If I wind up going diarrhea, we're gonna be in trouble. I feel like I'm gonna eat shit right now, getting on this. Wow. Oh my God. That was terrifying. It's like nice, but also scary, to be honest. This is my view, just looking out into the ocean. What's nice is that since I'm in the middle of the ocean, there are no bugs. Despite being in the middle of freaking nowhere, I have service on my phone. I can scroll on freaking TikTok if I wanted to. The whole point of being in the middle of the ocean, at least for me, like when we were planning this, was I really wanted to like disconnect. The phone addiction is real, guys. I've like just been fighting it even just being out here. You know, one thing is that I've never gone for a night dive. I'm kind of scared to be honest with you. It's a little intimidating. I lived in Hawaii for like 4 months at one point. I got the opportunity to go on a night dive, and then I got sick like the day before. I had to cancel it. I didn't wind up going. With that being said, sometimes I'll think about that experience I missed out on, and it encourages me to do other experiences, you know? Do you guys care about this stuff? I often wonder what you guys care to hear about. Drop a comment if you care about this stuff that I'm talking about, or if I'm just babbling. There's a secret that I actually haven't told you guys, but I can't tell you guys just yet. You gotta wait till morning. Oh my God, mosquito. How is it out here? We're in the middle of the I came to the generator room to see what supplies that we have. There are a couple different things that I'm seeing right here. This is the water gauge. Once this hits E, there's no more fresh water running to this unit. I'm not allowed to drink it, so it doesn't make
make much of a difference, but it also means that I can't just like take my time and shower as much as I want. Right here is what's particularly interesting. There's a water heater, so I don't have to just take cold showers, and I think I'm gonna use this like immediately. Time to go take my first warm shower in 24 hours. Wow, wait, time out. It's actually working. That's awesome. Yes. I gotta say, there's nothing like taking a fresh shower and getting all the salt off your body. The salt like crystallizes on you here, especially when it's hot. So it took everything in me not to take a gulp of it, but this bed looks so fire. Oh, my walkie, that doesn't work. Safety team, are you here? Over. They said we are off when we are off. Oh, the little piggy. The little piggy went to, wait. Did you guys hear that? It was like a splash outside. After hearing movement in the water, I had to investigate. There's a fat fish and I'm freaking hungry, okay? Damn, it's so scary to get in the water at this time of night. It's terrifying, but okay. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get in. Oh my God, there are literally so many right here. It doesn't matter how exhausted you are. Going night diving with tarpon will get anyone excited, okay? All right, I need to get in quiet so the tarpon don't get spooked. The water is super warm though. After enough procrastinating, I finally got in the water, and I can't elaborate in words just how scary that this is. I started to explore the house a little bit just so I could get my bearings, and then when I went to the bottom, I was searching for anything I could find. Now the problem is that it's literally pitch black in every direction. The only thing that I actually have to know where I am is this flashlight. It's also difficult because I don't really know how far I'm swimming as I'm going, so sometimes I would just turn around and realize that my house was way farther than I expected it to be. The whole reason I got in the water though was to dive with these tarpon, and I was really surprised that they weren't afraid of me at all. Tarpon could get over 100 pounds, and they're predatory fish, so in my head I was thinking to myself, what is bringing these guys into the area? And then as I started shining my light, I realized that we were surrounded by minnows, and this is what the tarpon must have been hunting. At one point I went up for some air and I almost got stuck under this kayak.
I could easily die right now, but it's such a cool experience. I think I'm just gonna keep going.
Getting back in the water was like facing your biggest fears all at once, but I felt like my prayers were answered when I found a shrimp just kind of swimming through the water. I had barely eaten at this point, so this would have been a great snack, but before I knew it, I accidentally traveled way farther away from my house than I expected to. I really didn't want to drift too far away and run the risk of my flashlight running out and literally being stranded in the middle of the pitch black ocean. So I decided to go back, but then I overshot it and I was under the house.
Oh shit. Oh fuck, where am I? Ow.
This is super stupid. I'm getting out. Ugh. That was freaking insane. Oh my God, that's a shark. Where'd it go? Oh my God. Bro, I was literally in the water. That thing could have come for my side or something. I'm so lucky I ran into the tarpon and not him. I guess that's what happens when you're at a house in the middle of the ocean, huh? I straight up do not have it in me to take another shower. I'm hungry and I'm for sure dehydrated. I have a headache now. I think dehydration is actually catching up to me pretty hardcore. Those tarpon were crazy though. That was so scary just now. Officially time to get some rest. It's 3 a.m. I can't sleep for the life of me. I just hear these tarpon going crazy out here. You guys see their glowing eyes? I want to try to catch one with a fishing pole. I can't even eat a tarpon if I catch it. It's illegal. I'm actually super exhausted right now, but for whatever reason, I'm not able to sleep. Maybe it's a thirst. Here's my fishing pole. There's so many bugs, I'm getting wrecked. I'm gonna throw one of these ballyhoo on there. Ballyhoo's on the hook. All right, let's see what we can make happen. Oh, bro. Are you kidding me? He's gonna bite it. Come on. One of these freaking tarpon have to bite. You know how frustrating it is to see a freaking massive fish look at your bait like that but not take the bait? Damn, I'm getting wrecked by bugs at this point. It might not even be worth it to try to catch one of these guys. Good morning, guys. We're almost at the end of the 24 hours in the middle of the ocean. There's one secret I've been keeping from you this entire time. That secret is that I arranged for a boat to drop me off. I never arranged for one to pick me up. I'm gonna need to kayak about 2 to 3 miles to land. And that's not an easy task, okay? It's not like it's around the freaking corner. Pretty hungry. I'm really hungry. Right now, I don't doubt that if I were to kayak back to land, like right this very second, I would actually just perish. I need to get some food first. Breakfast, if you will. This is what's currently in front of me, and off in the distance over there is that shipwreck that I was able to catch a mangrove snapper in. Behind it is actually another shipwreck, which wouldn't look like it would be the worst case to go to. I'm just like I look around and there's not really a whole plethora of options, it looks like. I think I'm gonna go to that shipwreck, and I think I'm gonna paddleboard there. Get my bow and arrow. I'm gonna tie this to the back of the paddleboard. Put my spear in here. All right,
I'm pretty much loaded up, ready to go. All right, we're gonna give it one last shot. Safety team, come in, do you copy? The truth is that I'm about to go on the most dangerous part of this challenge. For anyone to be in the open ocean and have no sign of backup, emergency signal, I mean, a lot could go wrong. Time to go get the last meal of this challenge. How do you get on a paddleboard? You just do it. You just get on it. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This paddleboard is so sketchy. If it goes over, all my things are lost. I'm starving right now. All right, I've made it to the wreck. I'm slowly passing it. Oh, I'm sinking. I need one fish. Just one.
Getting in the water was like waking up on Christmas morning to coal, because when I got in, there wasn't a single fish anywhere on this shipwreck. I didn't want to just send it to the next one either though, because then I would be using more energy and there's a good chance there aren't fish on there either. The good news is that we're in a bunch of tall grass, and usually crustaceans really like to hide in this tall grass, specifically lobsters and stone crabs. I started swimming all around the wreck to look for anything that could give me calories to hopefully help me with this 3-mile ride kayak back home. After enough searching, I came across a channel crab, and while this is a crustacean that is legal for me to keep, they have such little meat in their claws that I figured it would be more trouble than it was worth. I was gonna have to face my fears of getting pinched though, because I located a very large stone crab. These guys have so much meat in their claws that it is definitely worth the risk, at least to me because of how hungry I was. I noticed that he was pretty burrowed up in his hole and he was just going deeper in, but he actually had another hole on the other side and I was able to get him out like that. This was like the best find ever because I didn't think I was gonna have breakfast, and now I have breakfast in my hands.
Good news, I found a stone crab. You can tell it's a stone crab because they kind of look like they've got painted claws or nails. And this guy has a meaty claw on him, so we're gonna be eating good. Now, there's actually a very specific way you're supposed to harvest these guys' claws. You're not just supposed to take the whole crab. They've got this joint in the middle, this area. It's a little bit softer. If you put something sharp in them, they will automatically drop their claw. The crab will live, it'll grow a claw back. It's a very healthy way to harvest the stone crab.
Unfortunately for me though, it's not stone crab season, and eating this guy would mean jail time, so I had to release him.
Oh my gosh, a shrimp. Breakfast. Is it dead? Well guys, I'm an utter failure. I couldn't believe there were no fish under that shipwreck. Yesterday I went there and it was a plethora of fish. That's what's BS about being in a survival situation. Like, if I were really stranded in the middle of nowhere, I would have eaten that crab, but I have to adhere by the laws to where I am. At the end of the day, it doesn't solve the problem of my hunger. If anything, that paddleboard out there really just depleted more of my energy, which makes this task even more difficult. Getting back home. It's about a 2 to 3 mile kayak ride. You know, it's tough because we just learned that the current is going that way, which makes it even harder. I literally just need to get back to land and mission complete. Bro, if I get caught in what I got caught in yesterday morning, that would be a really, really bad ride. I don't have my safety team with me today. It's just me. All right, let's stop wasting time. I really want to get some breakfast. All right, everything is officially how it's supposed to be. We put the hammock back up. Here's all the equipment that I used. I made my bed. Very nice, very clean. Kind of gonna miss this place. What I'm gonna miss the most? The doors that just lead to the ocean. But it's time to go back towards land. Ugh. Oh, fuck. Into the open ocean we go. Goodbye. Oh! A shrimp jumped into my boat. Breakfast is here. Got a nice little shrimp.
Guys, this challenge isn't over yet. Like I mentioned before, I still have 2 miles to paddle back to land. If I can't make it all the way back on my own, I fail this survival challenge.
5 minutes into paddling confidently, my stomach is roaring right now. I am freaking starving. Ugh. I can't stop though, otherwise the current will take me out to sea. I think I'm gonna send it all the way. Starting to see more civilization for sure. More boats, more people. These are good signs. What is this? Ugh. Look at this guy, so pretty. That's not my tiki. My tiki's all the way back there. Maybe someone's doing a survival YouTube video on that one too. It's a pretty conch. Later, buddy. Back to journeying. When I first started paddling, I thought to myself, like, the harder I paddle, the faster and farther I'll go. But I don't think that's the case. I think the strategy is to just have shallow strides with your paddles. Don't count the days, make the days count. And I feel like that's kind of what I'm doing with these strides. I'm actually, after looking at the GPS, so much further than I thought I was. Tiredness is a mindset, and so is failure. I am definitely in a deeper part of the water. I'm having a hard time staying on course. Oh. I've made it to a buoy. Can I attach to it? I don't think there's a way to. We must continue. If it isn't the consequences of my own decisions. Subscribe right now if you've made it this far. I feel like there comes a point where you get a second wind. Look at those beautiful palm trees. I've never been closer. We're down to the last few yards. No way I did it. Dude, oh my gosh. Oh my god. Oh. Hi. Yeah, I know. I was lost at sea. Sorry about that.